She was told to work hard to find success. Instead, she was almost broke and nearing burnout. Today, I'm joined with Cecilia Jacobs, and you're going to hear her story how she went from almost broke to becoming a self made millionaire in South Africa. If you are struggling with your time, especially, and you're tapped, capped, and strapped, and you have no energy left, and life is passing you by, and you're missing all the moments with your kids, you need to hear her story. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Ann Oikel, and today I am sitting with Cecilia Jacob from South Africa. I'm so excited to be able to talk to her today because we are both part of the digital marketing community, and this is huge. I love talking to people in this industry because it's one of the fastest growing industries out there. It's expected to hit 1.5 trillion by 2030, but the digital economy is expected to hit $16.5 trillion next year. So I love talking to people that have been in this industry to talk about their journey. And today I have Cecilia. So thank you so much, my love, for joining me. And tell me a little bit about yourself. What led you here? How did you get here? Did you have a breaking point?
Hi, Anne. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored, very humbled. So what led me here? Poverty, being broke. I was so freaking tired of being broke and overworked. So I'm a South African mom, like Anne just told you, and I used to have my own salon. I had that salon for 2 years. After COVID, I decided, you know what, I need something that I can do from home to have all my time with my little girl. But before that, I actually had 10 years in the ECD field where I studied and opened up a daycare center so that I can be that mom working from home, you know, not missing out any milestones with my only child. But going back, this desire to be a work from home mom and do something around my child actually comes from being a mom that's got 2 little angel babies and also a cancer survivor. So with the birth of my daughter, I was like, no matter what, I will be the work from home mom. So 10 years into the ECD field, I loved every second of it. I loved being part of her, you know, growing up and milestones. But by the time that she reached the age of 10, I realized that the reason I started this business to have that extra time with her, it was actually starting to take away time from her because I could no longer be the mom next to the sports field. I could no longer, you know, teachers couldn't depend on me as calling me up to be the tuck shop mom. And those were the kind of things that I wanted to be part of in my daughter's life. And during COVID, I started in the e-learning industry, learning online without realizing it that was actually where it started for me. But I started learning online the skills and took online classes, which then led to me opening up my salon after COVID. So I got all into this salon thing, you know, with this big vision. I'm going to be the mama that works from home. I'm going to control my time. I'm going to make lots of money, making everybody pretty. But it just didn't work out that way. So within 2 years of opening up that salon, I was broker than broke. I had debt collectors phoning me more than my mom did, and I actually had way less time to spend with my child because I ended up working 15 hours a day, 6 days a week, basically to be broke. So there came a time when in a 7-day week frame, 5 of those days I would be spending, you know, having a breakdown in the shower, crying in the shower, trying to hide my tears from my teenager, feeling like, you know, what happened? Where did I fail? Where's this perfect vision of being a mum with enough time to spend with my child and enough money to provide the life that she deserves? Where's that vision gone to? Where did I trip myself? So this one particular day, I had a bridal party at my salon and I had bridezilla there. And, you know, between 1 and 2, I had to rush and go pick up my daughter from school. And she's grade 8. So they were going through, what do they call it? Initiation in the beginning. So they were going through initiation. So I rushed. She knew I had the bridal party there. And I rushed to go pick her up. And I'm unfocused because I was so time strapped. I needed to get back and I needed to get, you know, to go finish this. I mean, this was a big hump paying a big hump into the rent and electricity and stuff. But as she walked on towards the car, she was 5 minutes late, and I immediately snapped at her. And I'm like, "Why are you late? You know I've got this bridal party. Hurry, hurry, hurry!" But I never realized that when she walked towards the car, she was already teary. She had a, look, I still want to cry when I tell the story. She had a bad day at school, and I immediately felt like a bad mum that day because this is not what I wanted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This was not what I wanted. This was not supposed to be my life. This is not why I ran a business from home, right? And so the way that I set up my salon also, I could look straight into my house. And that teenager, what's the two things you can give a teenager that really makes them happy? Give them a cell phone, give them a bedroom, and you don't hear about them, right? That makes them happy. But I finished close to 9 p.m. that evening. And just before I finished, as I looked up, my teenager fell asleep on the couch waiting for me, which meant she had to have a really tough day that day in order to wait for me and fall asleep on the couch. So obviously that evening I went to bed drowning in mum guilt, but with that, something's got to change. If I'm going to continue going on the way that I'm going on, not only is my health going to take a toll, but my emotional state, my emotional well-being is literally taking a dive now. And my relationship with my child is deteriorating. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. So yeah, next morning, 5 a.m., just before you wake the kids for school, that minute of a breather that a mom has. So that next morning, I was sitting there with my coffee and my TikTok being my consuming self, looking for some funny baby somethings or animal somethings, consuming a little bit of TikTok. And up on my screen pops this mum and be like, "Hey, I'm a mum of 6, grand of 5, and I teach mums how to work 2 hours a day, get their feet into the e-learning industry and make money online." So I was like, "What? Give me some of that." But when I clicked on the link, it was all dollars. And I was like, oh, as a South African, we are always on the back. I'll never be able to make money online because everything is dollars and this is not meant for us. But I decided to enter my email address in anyway. And then the rest is history. It's 21 months later. I've literally made multiple 7 figures in my currency. I've turned millionaire 4 times over. Within 5 months, I closed down my salon and we flipped our zip code. We moved from a small little town in the bush right up to the ocean. I always wanted to live by the ocean. Always said one day when I'm grown up, I'm going to live near the ocean. And I grew up 5 months into digital marketing, backed up, moved, got my daughter into a private school where she's extremely happy now. And as I sit here speaking to you, I can look up and look out over the ocean. But the time that we get to have now, I finally found it, what I've been looking for when I opened up both businesses. With both businesses, I was looking for time freedom, but also financial stability as a single mom at the time. And I finally struck gold.
Yeah, that hit a nerve with me too, because I totally get it. I have a single child, and this past summer, before I even found the digital marketing community, she was diagnosed with high social anxiety and high functioning autism and select mutism. So when you say kid, or when she calls and when she's had a bad day, I get it. So I get, even to this day, I get texts from her saying, "Mom, I'm not having a good day." And I would be sitting at work trying to figure out how to get this kid through whatever she's going through because I can't constantly leave. And then when you get into the mom guilt, it's like now knowing that she has autism, that was hard. Like I can't change the past, so I try not to dwell in that. But when you think about these kids that are struggling, plus, just everyday life, when they're having a bad day, and I was high strung, I was like you, I was high strung, high demand job. I was bringing that stress home and that would shut her down because she can't deal with that energy. So when I got laid off, she said to me, she said, "Mom, can you do me a favor and promise you'll never go back to a high stressful job ever again?" Well, I melted because that was so hard, not realizing the damage that had been done over the last 17 years of her life, not even realizing I was doing that to her. No freaking clue whatsoever. No awareness whatsoever. So when you talk about your kid having a bad day and not realizing it, some of these kids are having bad days almost every day. And if you don't realize what's happening, it's hard to cater, let alone, like you say, being in a job that has you working from, 8, 9 in the morning all the way to 9 o'clock at night. You're not present. It makes it hard. And when you started talking, I'm like, I'm holding back the tears because I totally get it. I totally get it.
So when I look back on where we come from and where we are now, when I speak about that, it makes the hair stand up, because I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing that I love most about this industry, is to be the one that opens that door for other mums and just saying, hey, you know what, I know what you're going through. I've been there. I've snapped at my child. I've tried a mum guilt. I sat in the shower bawling my eyes out over this, but I finally found it. If
Yeah,
you ever felt like there's got to be more to life, I can't be missing out on my children all the time. I can't be missing out on life all the time and still feel broke, still feel stuck, still be so stressed. It can't be this. My creator did not create me to live a life like this. So then I just love to open that window and be like, I found it. You better come and look at this.
that's what I love about this community, because I would have never met you if it wasn't for the community. I wouldn't have even known you were out there. And this, like, where it's digital marketing, it's global. Like, we've connected with so many different people on a global level. And, it's important. I'm glad you shared everything you did, because it helps people and parents and anybody that's working a full-time job or in a high stress, high demand career realize how important, and how easy a different path can actually come to you when you're open and ready to receive. So, with a lot of people working in that grind, and they don't believe that they can do this type of business, because it's important to understand this is not a job, it is a business opportunity. And you're taught everything in a single program, but you're also given the tools to start up your own business. So, people that are in the grind that don't believe they can do it, what would you say to the mom, the dad, or anybody that's just feeling stuck and scared and unsure whether or not they can be successful with this business? What would you say to them?
If I can do it, anybody can do it. Listen, I had no tech skills when I started out with this, absolutely none. Um, I could barely speak proper English. Just to let you know, I could barely. I'm a full-blown Afrikaans speaking mum. So my English used to run out on me also constantly, and I had to recharge that English just to do this. But I had an ultimate fear of my computer when I started with this. It's just that I had to get to the point where I had to measure up my fears. What did I fear more? Did I fear more to learn a new set of skills? Did I fear more to, get myself out there and 1% per day improve on the skills that I'm learning, mastering these skills? Or did I fear more to work until the day that I die, to completely lose my relationship with my child, to literally get to the point where things go so down that I really can't afford filling my grocery cupboard with healthy food and things like that. I had to measure my fears and then realize, you know what? I'm going to purchase myself an educational program to learn new skills. It's nothing different than when I went to study ECD. I paid to get enrollment into a college, start studying for a diploma, open a business, and as I grew with that business, so did my skills. And the same with my salon. I applied, I started studying, and when I opened my doors every single day, I got better and better at the skills. And I had to bring myself to that. It's like, Celia, doing an online business is nothing different. It's nothing different. You are going to purchase something to learn these skills. If you show up daily, you will be able to master them and start seeing success. So if you are sitting on the other side and you do fear, can I do this? Is it difficult? I just want to encourage you, 1% per day is all you need to improve on, to really master this in the shortest amount of time. I don't know about other programs out there, but I've never, not when I studied ECD, not when I studied, to get into the salon industry, have I ever seen the type of coaching, mentoring, support, like literally taking a complete newbie daily and showing them, okay, you know what, this is the next step. This is the next step. And if you can be coachable enough to implement what you learn for that day, there's no reason that you cannot have success with this. No reason whatsoever.
No. And I totally agree with that. And I honestly think you often hear people say that are gurus when they start to deal with people, it's sometimes easier to deal with the new person because they don't have expectations. And I know for me, when I started the program myself, because I have a little bit of technical savviness, not a lot, I wouldn't say I'm a guru, I would skip stuff. So someone who follows the program intimately is going to be more coachable and get it a lot better and faster because I caught myself having to go back. And I was like, and just stop and just follow the process. So,
I
but
had
you're
to go back.
right.
I had to go back. Let me admit this. I had to go back. I also skipped something inside me. It's like literally the perfect customer. And I'm like, I don't need a perfect customer. You know what? Anybody that wants to make money can just come to me and I'm going to show them. And that was my biggest mistake. It took me 6 weeks before I made any money. And I kept on seeing this. Some people came in there and on the first day announced that they've just had their first, $300 or $600. And I was like, oh, my word. And then you get people within a week, 3 weeks. And I'm like, you know what? I think I purchased this program to learn from it and I should stop skipping certain things. So I went back and I did this one specific training and literally just by changing my approach towards this, the very next day I woke up to my first sale. It wasn't even a lot, but for me, that was the proof that this works. Number one, this works. Number two, you can earn dollars globally because I was sitting in South Africa earning my first dollars. And I was like, don't skip anything. It's a build up. You start at the top and, they build up on top of each other. And each step that you get, this is like literally following the footsteps of a multi-millionaire, sharing her secrets to success. Now, if you're going to walk in these footsteps and take a massive jump and skip steps, then don't cry when you trip at the end and the front, right? Because, these steps are there to follow. And so if you're going to take massive, just jump and you fall on your knees, my friend, you're going to get back up, dust it off, go back and start from the beginning. Because these steps each one of them are so crucial to follow.
I did the same thing. Bought it not understanding the power of it, so I didn't dive right into it when I first bought it. And you hear tell of some people saying they bought it and it sat for a few months before they dove into it. And I think a lot of that's because we don't understand the power of the system and the vehicle that we just purchased. I skipped stuff and I was like, I don't get it. Why am I not making money? Like, I'm very capable of, why am I not making money? And then like you say, when you go back and you start diving into the stuff you skipped and start flowing it again, things click. And it's like, oh man.
The light bulb starts going on. Bing, 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 bing. It's like literally, you've got this multi-millionaire. If she took 2 steps left and 1 to the front to achieve the success that she's had, and she lays that out for you in that pattern, you better be willing to be coachable enough to take 2 steps left and 1 to the front because she's teaching you exactly what she did. And the funniest thing is, and I went to Google and I said to Google, I'm so tired of being scammed. I'm so tired of trying to figure this out on my own. I'm so tired of, trying all these things and never making anything. I want to learn from somebody. Give me a program that I can purchase and start learning it from. I went to Google with that mindset and I literally still went and be like, okay, I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to jump to this one and I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to jump to that one. And I fell on my knees and I had to go right back. But still, being able to make my first money within 6 weeks, putting me immediately into profit mode was like literally, hear my heart today when I tell you, was still quicker profit in my pocket than both of my other businesses that I had. With my daycare center 10 years later, I could still not say that I've at least taken profit, and it amounted to what I paid for my studies.
Yeah.
The same thing with my salon. I couldn't even, after 2 years that I closed it down, I can't even tell you that I made my money back for studying or the first products to open it or setting up that place.
You're 100% right. When you purchase this program and the whole system that comes with it, like you say, it's 100% profit and you don't have any other expenses. You're in profit mode once you've made your first sale, typically. And you're right. I spent, while I was working, over $10,000 Canadian on a coach to help me create my program. So although I've done a lot of coaching and teaching and guiding throughout my career, I was always the go-to. I didn't know how to set up a program with flow. My coaching business was focusing on women, high stress, high demand, going through what I went through. And you're right. So I spent 10,000 on a coach. I spent another 700 Canadian on a program to teach me how to automate with a lead magnet, capture page, the thank you page, and the delivery page. I spent $700 learning how to create that. And that was it. It didn't tell me how to market it. It didn't tell me how to make it work. And then I found the DGC, and that's given to you for free. I'm like, what?
$29 for everything already pre-built and ready to use. Like, bring it on, bring it on. Because I've also tried things and I had to give up because I just couldn't figure out the tech. It's like, you know what, this make money thing online is just too freaking difficult. And the funny thing is, tech doesn't make you money.
Yeah,
it doesn't. The tech doesn't make you money.
No. So even for me, when I first was introduced to this, it kind of came at me from a different angle. So I had my coaching. I was also part of a network marketing company. So I was looking for attraction marketing and automation. So I was presented this opportunity from that angle. So I was really caught off guard when it had the income potential and the business opportunity tied to it to earn 100%. So if people are sitting out there thinking it's a scam, it's not legit, how is that possible? What message would you give to those people that are thinking that? Because I know I was thinking the same thing when I first found it, but I don't.
Know what made me think scam when I came across this was actually the 100% profit, because I just didn't understand it. I didn't.
That's what threw me off too.
I was still trying, and I was still in the mindset of, you know what, if I sell this physical product, there's cost around this. I need to get it imported. I need to have shipping on this need to be manufactured, and then I need to keep on buying stock, keep on buying stock, keep on buying stock just to supply my clients with it. So I really just didn't understand the e-learning industry itself. I didn't understand the fact that you could create something once, and if it contains what people are looking for to learn, then you would be able to sell it over and over and over again. I didn't put that with, I studied online to open up my salon. It's like, do I really think that I was the only person that purchased those courses to open up my salon? I was not. Do I really think when I studied a lot of the studies that I did in ECD as well, I could do online classes because I was so far away from the institutions? And do I really think that in one Zoom room when we attended that I paid like what, 2,000 to 3,000 Rand for, it would be tailored a little bit to me and the next person and the next person. This educational program was set up once, the same with our children. So the minute that I could wrap my mind around the fact that, you know what, this is actually where you can create something once off and continuously make money from this. And then when I saw that paying a website fee of $29 once off was the reason why I got 100% resale rights, because this company made their money from the website fees, I was like, brilliant, because the tech was actually the one thing that's always held me back. Now, the more that I started learning about the creator of this program, that's where I realized, you know what, this is why it's 100% profit, because she works with integrity. Her heart is literally to help people start online as complete beginners and have success in the online industry. So she doesn't want to make any of your money. She wants you to feel that you are allowed to make everything that you work for, be paid your worth. So I love that. But, usually when people tell me like this is a scam and blah blah blah, I'm like, this is going either one of two directions, my friend. Either you are calling the whole education system a scam, and if that's true, then yeah, I think we should just now take a few steps back. But on the other hand, I also realized that there is a lot of scams out there. There is a lot of scammers that clone, online business accounts and then pretend to be a digital marketer or, I mean, even Alex Mimosa, they're all being cloned. And then these guys reach out, pretend that they are in the business that you are in, make people pay money for something, then hype the price with false promises, and people do get scammed. So I started realizing, what? The people that calls this a scam probably has been scammed, because nobody in their right mind can call education a scam. That's my honest opinion on this.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, I know when I was first introduced, because the same thing, it was the 100% profit that threw me off too. And that's what made me think it was a scam. So when I realized the community that was attached and somebody showed me the calendar and the activities that are happening every single week, I was like, scammers don't create communities that support you. So I was like, okay, it's not a scam, but how did they do the 100% profit? But when she started to explain that, she could have given us a percentage and did it like an affiliate, for example. But then she'd have to have an office with staff and people to manage all of this stuff. And it's digital. She doesn't, like you say, she doesn't have a tangible product. It's digital. So why pay all that out when people can actually, like you say, they're doing all the work, pay them the 100% profit and give them the master resale rights? Because she's doing the same thing. She made her money the same way. So she's walking proof of everything works. She proves that stuff works before she delivers it to us in the community. And that was my pivotal moment and shift, was understanding that. So I actually went after logical information and took it back and got my questions answered, which was the tipping point for me as well. So that's really awesome. So you talked a little bit about your results. What do you see being the pivotal moment for people? Like, what is there and your biggest takeaway from the transition of where you are to where you are now?
Okay, so just South Africa alone has got like 18 millionaires in our currency, right?
Wow,
No,
that's
I'm
in,
lying. 17. Sorry, 17. 17 millionaires. 8 of those are clients of mine. And
nice.
out of those 8, who the mums that I've spoken to, some coming from corporates, some coming from having their own salons as well, some being students. So I've got literally a rainbow nation of clients going with me. But I mean, the common denominator of is literally getting to that point where they're like, I'm tired of working this hard and still not getting anywhere in life.
Yeah.
It's like I'm living a deja vu life where I see what my parents did and missing out on the same things my parents did, that I would, I want to take charge of that. If this is a possibility, I mean, the whole world is going digital, right? So those that are like, I say, when you started looking at ways to make money online, you're going to have this little angel on your shoulder the whole day. Every single time that you are feeling broke, or when you want to cry when you look at your bank account, or when you have to pull out a list and tick it off when you buy groceries, it'll speak to you. It'll be like, maybe you should go check out that information. Maybe you should go check it out. But I'd say out of almost all the clients, because I am in, my heart is for mums, and my heart is specifically for, I've got a lot of mums all over the world. But when I started out, it was like, if you're a mama from South Africa, you need to come and look at this, because if you thought making dollars here, to make dollars here, you need to get married so that you can send your husband abroad just to go and make some dollars for you guys, you've got it all wrong. I can teach you how to literally do this from your living room, right? But the common denominator for everybody that I helped to get started was time. They wanted their time back. They wanted to stop working that hard to be broke, and obviously money,
Yeah.
needing the money for survival. So most of us wanted to be like, if I could just only make Like some is $300 extra a month that would have changed their lives. And I'm talking about the millionaires now, right? If I could just make an extra, $1,000 a month, and then suddenly it starts rolling in. And it's like, now you've got the time and you've got the money. But it's
Yes.
definitely time. People are looking to get their time back. They are so tired on building somebody else's dreams and watching them take the holidays, them spend time with their families while they still sit broken at home.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, but you bring up a very good point. Somebody that's already strapped and capped for time, what would you say to them? Because they do have to shift something in order to get that time back. So, what would be your biggest message to them? Because you were working long, long hours. You were not working a 9 to 5. You were working your own business that was taking you into the night. What would you say to somebody that's capped for time like that?
So when you get started with this program, for example, you get an automated system, which is going to be your golden ticket of golden tickets, right? So we literally follow 5 simple steps on a daily basis. Now, when I got started, for me, the time frame that I was working, it was really difficult for me to be able to say, okay, I've got the time to create 3 videos a day, because that just wasn't my reality. And I would take Sundays and create, take 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday and create enough content for a whole week so that I can post one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And then I would use break times, in a salon, whenever you can get that 5-minute break and go to the white throne. I would be answering emails and CTIs, like literally in the bits and pieces of my day. And 30 minutes in the evening before going to bed, I would be quickly doing copy paste post of ads. I was like addicted to that 30 minutes of posting those ads because it was exposure and I was brand new in this. And for me, it was like, you know what? I don't have the 2 hours to sit down, but I do have this will and desire inside of me to see if this works and to build a better future for me and my child. So I'm going to take what I've got and I'm just going to be consistent at it, and I'm going to keep on doing it. So, like I said, I took Sundays, I created enough content, like a 1-minute video, 45-second video, 5 to 7-second video. And I was like, literally, I would point to text on screen. I didn't even do 1 minute in the right in the beginning because I was too scared to speak on videos online. So then I would be posting that throughout the day. I just kept at it consistently. So my thing is I don't really have advice. For me, it's just if you really want something, you're gonna make it fit, right? I mean, this is like we call it the 2-hour workflow because these 5 steps shouldn't take you longer than 2 hours. But I've literally got days where it takes me less than that 2 hours. But I had to learn these skills and I had to master these skills and I had to get better and better and better at these skills. But if I could do this with a 15-hour shift, working 6 days a week, if Amy could do this with, working 2 jobs every single day as a single mom, why not you? Why can't you make this fit into your day? I believe if you really want something, then definitely go at it. What I would not advise is starting an online business without automated systems. Honestly, don't do that because you are going to work yourself even more to the bone. Because these automated systems, once you've completed those 5 steps, it kicks in and it literally starts working for you in the background, allowing you to, know that your business is out there working while you are doing whatever you need to do now to put food on your table. But it's going to come to a point where you are literally going to get to make that decision. Do I want to continue working like this and run this online business, or am I just going to do this? I'll never and ever forget when I was so used to working those 15 hours. I was so used to fitting this into the bits and pieces of my day that when we picked up and moved out to the Eastern Cape, that very first day that I was done unpacking everything, right? So at least when you get here, you're busy, you're unpacking, you're still working that whole day, doing the mum thing, getting the house ready. But that very first day where I woke up and everything was already packed, out, and I sat down and I completed my 2-hour work. I completed the 5 steps, my 2-hour workflow. And I got up and I walked down the stairs, and halfway down the stairs, I stopped and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. What is it that I'm supposed to do with the rest of my day? I was dumb. I quickly found stuff to do with the rest of my day. But it was that moment where I realized, you know, I'm literally working 2 hours a day and making insane money.
Wow.
And I started living
Gave
from
me
there.
some serious goosebumps.
If you want to get to that point in your life, you're going to have to make the choice to go for it. It'll be like, I mean, like I said, 30 minutes before I went to bed at night, I would sit and copy, paste, post, copy, paste, post. I was addicted to that 30 minutes. I was like, I don't go to bed if I haven't finished this, because by then I would know my 3 videos has been posted throughout the day. My emails has been answered if people had questions via email, and my CTAs was answered. And then I would plug into that 10 to that 5 minute video. Those days it was the 10K and 30-day sprint. I was addicted to those as well because it always inspired me. And I was like, oh, what do I get to learn today?
Taking action on any opportunity, what would you feel their biggest cost would be for those that stall, wait, hesitate?
Well, you're going to sit on the other side and you're actually going to watch people start living the life that you've always wanted. You are, I don't even know how to bring this into words if you bring it cost related. You know what, Anne? If I did not get started with this back in May 2023, it would have cost me my health, because nobody can continue working the type of hours that I was working, going through the financial stresses that I was going through without it affecting your health. It would have costed me my relationship with my child. She's my only child. We would where we get to, she'll just storm in here and come and sit on my desk and be all chitty chatty. I didn't have that when I had my son. I didn't have that because it was like we started living past each other. It would have cost me my happiness, because I'm finally in a place in my life where I can say I'm happy. I'm happy and I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve. So I don't know how to weigh this up in financial cost, but what I can say is I've got people that started following me back in May 2023 when I just got started, and they've entered their email address and they were looky-loos all the time. And I'm literally, after, what is it now, 21 months, going on for 22 months, now reaching out and being like, Celia, you know what? I've climbed into this email list, watching you do what you do 21 months ago. And I've seen you grown, and I'm finally ready to get started. And then that is when I sit and I think to myself, what does it cost you watching me 21 months? Because by the time that they do reach out, it's like, you know what, I'm drowning in debt. I'm overworked. I just lost my job after, I've been clinging to this job, and now I've lost my job and I've got no plan B.
Yeah.
So for me, it's difficult to tell somebody else what it's going to cost them. But I think that is a valid question that they do need to ask themselves. If they listen to testimonials like these, they do need to ask themselves, if I'm going to walk away from this today and not even take the step where I enter my email address and check out the information, just check if this is for me, if it is something that I want to learn, what is it going to cost me a year from now in that time span, if I finally decide that I am going to do it? Because the thing is, the world is going digital, right? It is going digital. It's inevitable. You can either get on board now and change your life within the next few months. I mean, learn to make your first 6 figures in the next 6 months. Or you can sit on the side and watch other people do it and live the life that you always wanted.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And no, I totally agree with you. And I've often heard people say that the cost of the program itself, even if you did nothing with it, the learning is well worth the money that you pay for the program, let alone the free community. And like you say, that funnel system, which I call the freedom machine, it's huge.
The
So,
mindset. And
yeah,
let me tell you, the mindset mentoring and coaching inside that program is worth way more than what the highest program cost. Just that alone.
yeah, you give
Just
me
that
goosebumps
alone
just saying
was
it.
something that completely changed my life.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I am big on mindset. I got to work on this all the time. And this is a daily routine for me, but I follow different people and Dr. Joe spits out these stats, and I've heard a few other people, my coach spits out these stats as well, that our brain computes about 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. 90 to 95 of them are repetitive, so it's the same thoughts we had yesterday. And out of those 90 to 95%, 75% is negative. So if you
Right.
look, yeah. So if you look at those stats, mindset is a must. It's absolutely a must because that little demon you talked about earlier, the angel on the shoulder, I agree. You get the angels and you get the demons. And average people, the demons are winning out. Like we're thinking the same thoughts we thought yesterday. 90 to 95% of our thoughts are the same as yesterday, and 75% of them are negative. So already an average person that doesn't do personal development or personal growth or mindset work is already starting off in the hole every single day. So you're right, we have to make that shift. The mindset, and I agree with you that inside the community, the mindset is key. You will not succeed at anything unless you start feeding this. You have to feed this because I always say nothing's going to change until you do. Saying, and I had no idea the power of it until I actually started doing a ton of mindset work. And like I say, I got to work at this every day. And then I get connected with people like yourself and other people in the community. And like I say, I get goosebumps just talking about it because my whole world of who I associate with has changed. I've learned,
Absolutely.
yeah, I've learned to set boundaries for the negativity. And family, as much as I love my family, they can be the worst. So I remember when I first got laid off, I told my dad, I'm not going back to work right away. I'm going to give my business a damn good run for its money. My dad does not pay my bills. Nobody else is paying my bills. It's up to me and my husband. And I've had to learn to shift to change my own language because you don't realize it. It's on autopilot. And even to this day, if I say try, I catch myself. All of that stuff. It takes a huge and it plays a huge part in whether or not you're going to be successful because I always talk about how everybody has to learn before they hit that bell curve of success. And it's in this learning is where your dedication, your commitment, your consistency has to come into play. Because the minute you break any of that, this is not going to happen. You're going to continue
True.
on this plateau until you can master those things of mindset, discipline, consistency. Sell out to yourself first and foremost, because nobody else is going to do it for you. So if I don't make this work, I'm going back to work. And then I was like, having these conversations, thinking about the situation of my daughter, I would sit there and cry, saying, this is not an option. Going back to work, the stress that I endured will kill me. And I'm like, you know what? This has to work. I do not want to see a 9 to 5 ever again. And I've had the free time because I was laid off to dive into this even deeper. But I am like you, I'm dedicated to making sure I focus my 2 focused hours a day. I love what I'm doing, so the stress is a lot lower. My blood pressure was through the roof. The doctor wanted to put me on medication and put me off, and I was like, no. And my blood pressure is gone back down to normal. I had no awareness that the stress was doing this to my body. So when I think about where my daughter is and everything we've gone through and the thought of going back to work, it makes me sick to my stomach. I love hearing your story. You gave me so many goosebumps. We shed some tears, we had some laughs. This was awesome. So, final thoughts. What would your closing thoughts be to anybody that's out there listening to us today?
Stop sitting on the fence. Stop thinking that it's only special people that's got followings and stuff like that that can do this. That's not true. It's just your mind telling you stories. If you have ever in your life had the feeling that there's got to be more to life than this, there's got to be more to life than me always working and missing out on time with my family, there's just got to be more. I want to be the one that tells you today, you are right. You are right. There's way more to life than what you are currently going through. But you're going to have to be willing to take that next step. you're going to have to be willing to at least keep the link and check out the info, at least do your due diligence and make a decision. And once you've made the decision, stick by it and put on those wings and start flying, because 2025 is literally your year to thrive. It's just a question on whether you are going to grab this or you are going to let it slip through your fingers.
Is awesome. So anybody watching this, the link is going to be in the description below. Make sure you go down to that description, get the information. That part is free. You can learn how all this works for free. And then at the end of it, you get to pick your program. There's 4 to choose from, and you get to pick which program is best for you. Cecilia and I, we chose the Legacy Builder right off the bat because the value within it is so much larger than we can even put into words when it comes to value versus dollars. Like I said, I spent $700 just to learn how to create what's given to us for free. Well, it's a $29 website fee, but that gives you access to your program, the free Freedom Machine, and the free community. The community itself, Michelle was offered, what'd she say, a few $1,000,000 just for her community alone. And she refused to sell it because that's part of her baby. This is her baby. Having us in that community and watching us flourish and grow, like her mission isn't a dollar amount. It's helping 1,000 people become millionaires. And you're one of them. I plan on being the next. So, I'm not there yet. I've only been in this thing for a few months. So it's important to understand that you're not going to hit like skyrocket levels right off the get-go without going through this. And those in the community that do hit that bell curve right off the bat, they've already gone through parts of this already. You can't escape this learning curve. Everybody has to learn in order to be able to hit that massive upswing and the massive growth. We've done so much work. We've created the habits that when that momentum starts, we feed on the momentum and it keeps going. So, Michelle is a prime example. Like she said, she hit her first million in 17 months? In 2024, she made $4 million, a little over $4 million just in that 12-month period of 2024. And her goal is to skyrocket that. Her goal is not so much hitting $10 million as it is helping 1,000 people become self-made millionaires. And the faster she does it, then the faster she's hitting her goal. So, she always said when she first started this business, she wanted to make $54,000 a year to replace her income. And now she's like, that's not even a figment of her imagination anymore. She's way beyond that. And I was the same way. When I first came into it, I was like, I just want to replace the income I lost. And now that I understand the power of the vehicle, I'm like, no, I want to jump into a mastermind because I want to be one of her 1,000 people that she hits to be a millionaire. And it's connecting with people like yourself, Cecilia. So thank you so much. And being able to build relationships and have people like you interact with us and work with us and talk with us and coach us and guide us and feed that mind in the right way and have these stories of where we come from nothing. Like there is no such thing anymore of my family wasn't rich, so I'll never be rich. And, I often look at like Oprah, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, they all came from nothing. Their upbringing, their upbringing was probably worse than ours. I know Oprah's was way worse than mine. And she's a self-made millionaire. She never let her past dictate her future. And that's where you work on this, because if you're in that 75% of negative mindsets and 90% of what you've been thinking, what you thought yesterday, you have to recognize and surpass that and say, I'm not letting yesterday dictate today or tomorrow. And get in that mindset, because that's where the magic starts to happen. And like you say, this is the only business model, and it's the only one for me. And I've checked into a few, I've done network marketing, you name it. This is the only one where you can actually recoup your initial investment in your first sale by chance. And most people do, because that Legacy Builder is the top program and the most demanding program of all because of the value and the punch that it has. I had a coaching program and I wanted to get it digital and I never knew how until I found this program. I'm like, yes. So,
teach me the ways.
Teach me the way. But not only that, she's built a community around her program. So now I have a whole new vision for my program because she's teaching us how to build communities.
Months ago, if I'll ever want a community, I would have said, no, it's not for me. Now I'm like, I can't wait to launch it. I can't wait to launch it.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, it's huge. So yeah, the vision for communities for you and I now, because of Michelle, has been poof, like blown. The ceiling, the glass ceiling has broken. We've got a new ceiling to reach. So yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, go to the link, everybody, in the description. Make sure you fill out your email. Get that information for free. If you still have questions, because all of that information that follows should answer the bulk of your questions. And if you still have questions, email us back at that point, because that's where you'll get your questions answered. And don't wait, because the longer you wait, time is something you cannot get back. It's the one commodity we have no negotiations on. So get your questions answered and make a decision. And with that, I'm going to close out. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for joining me today. This has been an awesome conversation. It's been wonderful.
It's a
Thank you
huge
so much for your
pleasure.
time.
It's a huge pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, my love. Take care. We'll talk to everybody soon.